We celebrate Diwali as the festival of lights. We light lamps, we burst firecrackers, and we share sweets. We tell our children it is the victory of light over darkness. But we rarely tell them the specific, horrifying story of what that darkness actually was. The darkness wasn't just a metaphor, it was a physical place. It was a dungeon located in the impregnable fortress of Pragjyotishapura, high in the mountains, surrounded by barriers of fire, water, and poisonous gas. And inside that darkness were not demons, but 16,100 weeping women. This is not a fairy tale. This is the story of the first and greatest rescue mission in history. This is the story of how Lord Krishna, accompanied by his warrior wife Satyabhama, stormed a hell fortress to liberate 16,000 princesses who had been erased from the world. To understand the stakes, we must first look at the villain. His name was Narakasura, and his origin is one of the great tragic ironies of Hindu mythology. Naraka was not born from a monster. He was the son of Bhudevi, Mother Earth herself, and Lord Varaha, the boar avatar of Vishnu. Think about that. His father was God, and his mother was the earth. He should have been the most noble king in history. But power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Naraka became arrogant. He conquered the 3 worlds. He didn't just want to rule land, he wanted to own everything beautiful. He began a campaign of terror. Whenever he defeated a kingdom, he didn't just take the gold, he took the women. He kidnapped the princesses, the daughters of sages, and the wives of kings. He dragged them to his capital, Pragjyotishapura, and threw them into a massive underground prison. He didn't marry them, he didn't release them, he collected them. He treated human beings like trophies in a display case. For years, these women lived in absolute filth and despair. Their families had given up, the world had forgotten them, they were the living dead. But Narakasura made one fatal mistake. His arrogance grew so vast that he attacked the heavens. He stole the earrings of Aditi, the mother of the gods. These weren't just jewelry, they were the source of divine nectar and immortality. He also stole the umbrella of Varuna, the god of the oceans. Indra, the king of gods, desperate and humiliated, ran to Dwarka. He fell at Krishna's feet and said, "We can tolerate the loss of our kingdom, but we cannot tolerate the insult to our mother." Narakasura has crossed the line. Krishna smiled. He knew it was time, but he also knew a secret prophecy that no one else remembered. Years ago, Narakasura had performed a severe penance to Brahma. He asked for a boon. "Let me be immortal." Brahma said no. So Narakasura got clever. He asked, "Then let me only die at the hands of my own mother, for a mother will never kill her son." He thought he had tricked the universe. Bhudevi was the earth. She was gentle, nurturing, and kind. She would never hurt him. He was safe. Krishna knew this. So he didn't call for his army. He didn't call for Arjuna or Balarama. He went to his private chambers and called for his wife, Satyabhama. Now Satyabhama was fiery. She was proud, independent, and a skilled warrior. Most importantly, unbeknownst to her conscious mind, she was an incarnation of Bhudevi, the earth goddess. She was Narakasura's mother, reborn. Krishna told her, "I am going to war. It will be dangerous." Satyabhama didn't flinch. She said, "If you are fighting a tyrant who hurts women, I am not staying home. I will drive your chariot. I will fight beside you." This is the beauty of the story. It wasn't a king saving a damsel. It was a husband and wife team going to war against toxic masculinity. They mounted Garuda, the giant celestial eagle, and flew toward the north. The fortress of Pragjyotishapura was designed to be impossible to enter. It was surrounded by 4 barriers. First, a barrier of sharp, jagged mountains. Second, a barrier of weaponized water. Third, a barrier of cyclonic winds. And fourth, a barrier of magical fire. Krishna didn't stop. Riding on Garuda, he smashed through the mountains with his mace. He evaporated the water and fire with his divine arrows. He shattered the wind barrier with the Sudarshan chakra. But the real challenge was the guardian of the city, a 5-headed demon named Mura. Mura was a nightmare. He slept under the water and rose like a kaiju to intercept them. He threw millions of weapons at once. He roared with a sound that cracked the earth. Krishna didn't blink. He dissected Mura's 5 heads with his discus, earning him the name Murari, the enemy of Mura. Finally, they reached the inner sanctum. Narakasura saw his general dead and his barriers broken. He summoned his entire army. He unleashed the Shakti weapon, a thunderbolt given to him by the gods themselves. This is where the divine Leela, the play of God, happens. The Shakti weapon hit Krishna, and the Lord of the universe, the one who holds galaxies in his stomach, pretended to faint. He collapsed in the chariot, closing his eyes. Satyabhama saw her husband fall. In that moment, her shock turned into a cold, white-hot rage. The motherly instinct in her twisted into the ferocious form of the protective goddess. She didn't panic. She picked up the bow. Narakasura laughed. "The cowherd is dead, and now a woman thinks she can fight me?" He didn't know who she was. He didn't see the earth goddess in her eyes. Satyabhama pulled the string back to her ear. She chanted a mantra that shook the heavens. She released an arrow that wasn't just metal and wood. It was the judgment of a mother against a wayward son. The arrow flew straight and true. It pierced Narakasura's chest, shattering his armor and his heart. As the demon king fell, gasping for air, he looked at the woman standing in the chariot. The veil of ignorance lifted. He saw the divinity in her. He realized that his boon had been fulfilled. His mother had come to kill him. With his dying breath, Narakasura didn't ask for mercy. He asked for remembrance. He said, "Mother, let my death not be a day of mourning. Let it be a day of celebration. Let the world light lamps to show that the darkness is gone." Satyabhama granted the wish. Krishna woke up with a smile. Revealing his injury was just a ruse to allow Satyabhama to fulfill the prophecy. But the war was not over. The hardest part was yet to come. They descended into the dungeons. Krishna broke the iron gates. Imagine the scene. 1,100 women, emaciated, in rags, blinking in the sudden light. They had been in darkness for years. They expected another demon. Instead, they saw the radiant form of Krishna. They wept. But their tears weren't just of joy, they were of fear. They told Krishna, "You have saved us, Lord, but where will we go? Our families will not take us back. Society will label us as used and impure because we lived in the house of another man. We are princesses, but we are now beggars. We have no status, we have no future." This was the harsh reality of ancient society. A woman kidnapped by a demon was considered social outcast. Krishna looked at them. He didn't see impure women. He saw souls who had suffered unjustly. He saw devotion. In a move that shattered every social rule of the time, Krishna said, "You will not be beggars, you will be queens." He didn't just give them money and send them away. He offered to marry every single one of them. Not out of lust. Remember, he is the Atman, the soul satisfied in himself. He married them to give them social status. By becoming Krishna's wife, they instantly became the most respected women in the world. No one could dare insult them. He expanded himself into 1,600 forms so that he could marry each one personally, giving each one a palace, a household, and a dignified life in Dwarka. He restored their honor. He turned their shame into glory. This is the true meaning of the 16,000 wives that critics often mock. It wasn't a harem. It was the biggest refugee rehabilitation program in history. It was an act of supreme protection. So, when you light a lamp this Diwali, remember Narakasura. Remember that the darkness isn't just outside. It's the ego, the greed, and the objectification of others. And remember that God doesn't just kill the demon. He restores the dignity of the victim. If this story of the Hell Fortress and the rescue mission touched your heart, hit that like button. It helps us spread these true histories. And I have a question for you. Do you think Narakasura deserved a festival in his name? Or should we rename Diwali to Satyabhama Jayanti to honor the woman who actually pulled the trigger? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives into the Mahabharata. Next time, we are exploring the secret reason why Krishna chose to die. Hair Krishna.